Hello everybody, this is Richard Peacock with GetFlightPath.com, and in this video we're going to go over some basic module development. I'm going to show you how to create your first, just very basic Hello World module for FlightPath, just to show you the basics and how you actually get started. So as you can see, I've already logged in to FlightPath, and I'm logged in as my administrative user. That's going to be very important. So we're going to start by, I want to show you a particular screen in the admin console. So start by going to FlightPath admin console. And we go over here to the modules page under system configuration. Now if you haven't been to this page before, this page shows you every module that's currently enabled in FlightPath. So here in this section we see the core modules, and I'll just scroll down through some of those. We don't want to mess with any of those at the moment. Now down here is where we're actually going to be interested. We see the custom modules. Now, depending on your setup, you may only see one module here, maybe a couple. I've got a couple extra modules that I've been working on. But for the time being, we're just going to leave this screen open. We're not going to do anything for just now. So instead, I'm going to take us to the code part, and we'll go ahead and begin laying the groundwork for our new module. So the program that I'm using is called Aptana. It's just a basic PHP editor. I happen to like it. It's based on Eclipse. But you can use any PHP editor or text editor that you like. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to it. So we see in this pane right here the FlightPath project. So where we want to go is this custom folder, because all of our custom modules and custom work in general will always go in that folder. Under that, we go to the modules folder. So again, these are some of the modules that we saw on that screen. Depending on your setup, you may only see one folder here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder for our Hello World module, and I'm just going to name it Hello World. Now, when selecting a name for our module, it's actually fairly important that we follow some rules. The name has to be variable compliant. So in other words, we don't really want to start with a number, though I guess we could, and we don't want to have any spaces, and in general we'd like to use underscores instead of dashes, slashes, and spaces and things like that. So as you see for Hello World, I'm just calling it hello_world. So it's created that folder. So now we need to create at least 2 files in this folder in order for FlightPath to see it and be able to enable it. The first one is its .info file, and it's just a text file. So as you can see, it's the name of the module .info, and you're going to see this theme over and over, that we always begin with the name of the module. So in this new file that's just been created, we need to add a couple of things to it in order for FlightPath to be able to understand what the name of our module is and what we're trying to do with it. So we begin by typing a few key value pairs. We can name it anything we want at this point. This name equals, that's just how it shows up on the admin console. And we can also give it a description. The other thing that we absolutely have to have in there is a core version. Now at the moment that this video is being created, the only version is 4.x, but hopefully as FlightPath grows, we may get into 5.x, 6.x, 7.x, and so on. But for the sake of this video, all we really need is 4.x. Okay, so all we need to do is save our file, and we can go ahead and close it. Now the next thing that we have to create is a PHP file that again matches the name of our module, but we need to call it .module, not .php. And as I said, this is just a basic PHP file, so we're going to begin with PHP tags. And here's something interesting. Do not close the PHP tag. In other words, do not type this. And the reason that we don't type that is because we might accidentally put some white space after that closing tag, and that can really mess up FlightPath later on down the road. So if you just leave it open like this, your server will automatically understand that when the file ends, that's the end of the PHP script. It shouldn't cause any problems. So let's just go ahead and save this. And now let's switch back to our web browser and look back at our modules screen in the admin console. So here we are back at this screen. I'm just going to hit refresh. And now if we look, we now see the Hello World module is being displayed. So let's enable it by just clicking the checkbox and then clicking Submit. Okay, and when the page reloads, we now see that it's been installed and enabled. So I'm going to go back to our main tab right here. And at the moment, our module is not actually doing anything because we didn't actually add any PHP code to our module file. But let's do that now. We want to display the words Hello World every time the page loads. So let's go back to our file. And I'm going to take advantage of FlightPath's hook system. Now, this is a system that's explained in much greater detail in the documentation on the website, getflightpath.com. Generally, the way it works with a hook is you begin your function name with the name of your module, then you have an underscore, and then the name of the hook. So in this example, I'm going to be using hook init. So I would set it up like this. So you see it begins with the name of our module, right there, an underscore, and then the word init. And hook init is one of the system hooks that gets called whenever any page loads. So if you need something to happen, some kind of processing to happen every time the page loads, you would create a function named yourmodule underscore init and then put the code in that function. So in this case, I'm just going to add a simple message, hello world. And that's it. Let's go ahead and hit save, and then go back to our web browser. So back on this tab, whenever I hit refresh, we're going to see a message right up here that says hello world because the page loaded. Ta-da! There you go. It says hello world. So that proves that our module is working and that our hook for hook init is working. And that's the end of this first lesson. I hope I have helped to show exactly how easy it is. It's a couple of steps, but in general, it's quite easy to create a module and get going from there. Now, what you can do with a module is really up to your imagination, because it really is just a PHP script at its heart. So anything that you can do in PHP, you can do in a module. FlightPath does expose lots of functionality, though, to module developers. As I've said in previous videos and on the website, it's largely based around the hook system in Drupal 6 and Drupal 7. It's greatly influenced by that setup because it's a very genius setup. So anyone that's used to working within Drupal 6 or Drupal 7 will probably feel right at home working within FlightPath. Well, okay, so I think that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching.